Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Metal Mondays with Maiden. We have three epic cassettes. We have Motörhead Bomber, Megadeth Euthanasia, and Mötley Crüe Dr. Feelgood. Let's go. These are three classics. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's get talking about them. So first up we have Euthanasia. This was the sixth studio record from Megadeth. It was released on November the 1st, 1994. It did debut at number 4 on the Billboard 200. It was an extremely successful recording, and it did follow up the Countdown to Extinction record. So this did have the classic Rest in Peace lineup with Nick Menza, David Ellefson, Marty Friedman, and of course Dave Mustaine. It took almost a year to write the record, and that was due to personal differences within the band. And also, Dave Mustaine was very reluctant to record in LA. He wanted to record somewhere closer to home, so they built a purposely built studio, modular studio in a warehouse in South Phoenix and recorded the record there. Euthanasia tour, they did a huge tour for this record. Tour posters right here. It lasted for about a year. They started the tour in November 94 in South America, went all around the world, ending in September 95, with the band performing at the Monsters of Rock concert in South America. And the cover art was done by Hugh Syme, and it features an elderly woman hanging out babies to dry. And this is a direct quote from David Ellefson. He said that there's a line in the title track of Euthanasia saying that we've all been hung out to dry. And judging by what's going on in this world, they may not have been wrong about that statement. So let's go ahead and take a look at this cassette. This is a Capitol cassette. It was released in 90s, so of course it has the clear shell. We'll go over the song list here in a moment, but here's the cassette. Really nicely done. Some of the key songs from this record are A Tout Le Monde, which is a classic Megadeth song that he plays live a lot. Blood of Heroes, Euthanasia, of course, and Black Curtains, which are all great tracks. This is a great record. I love it. And this was the last one to feature Marty Friedman on guitar. So, Euthanasia. Check it out. It's a great record. It's worth listening to. Alright. So next up, we have Mötley Crüe's Dr. Feelgood. Now, there's tons of lore about this record here. Dr. Feelgood was the fifth studio record for Mötley. It was released on August 28, 1989, and topped number 1 in the Billboard 200. This album was recorded after the band's public declaration of sobriety, and it is quite well established in the music critic world and in the music world. This was Mötley Crüe's best record they put out, including Vince Neil, right here, mentioned that he was most proudest of this album because, again, they were sober and they're actually trying to do things the right way and record a great record, in which they did. This was produced by legendary producer Bob Rock in Vancouver, BC, between 1988 and 1989 at Little Mountain Studios. And Bob Rock insisted that the Mötley guys record their parts separately as opposed to being in a room together, because what would happen is, they drink a bottle of wine and beat each other up. So Bob Rock insisted that they record all their parts separately. And he brought in a whole bunch of other people as well for this recording. We'll get into that in a minute. But it seems that this strategy worked really well because Feelgood went to 6 million copies sold. So he was right on this one. So let's go ahead and take a look, and we'll look at the track listing as well. Again, similar story, 1989, clear shelled cassette. This was on Elektra. You see here TNT, Dr. Feelgood, Slice Your Pie, Rattlesnake Shake, Kickstart My Heart, and Without You. And this album produced 5 singles. So, Same Old Situation, Sticky Sweet, She Goes Down, Don't Go Away Mad, and Time for a Change. So, some of the guest artists that played and sang on this record. So let's talk about it. Sticky and Sweet. Did you know Bryan Adams sang background vocal on Sticky and Sweet? And also Steven Tyler from Aerosmith. So that's pretty cool. And also Jack Blades of Night Ranger sang backup on that. And other contributions included Robin Zander from Cheap Trick, and Skid Row actually did, the boys from Skid Row did some backing vocals for this as well. So this is a really cool record. And again, a lot of people don't know who else is on this, including, like I said, Jack Blades from Night Ranger and Steven Tyler from Aerosmith. The cover art was a cool story as well. We'll get into that. It was designed by the famous tattoo artist Kevin Brady, who was working at a tattoo studio in Sunset Strip. And he actually worked alongside the illustration master himself, Don Brodajam, who actually helped design Master of Puppets. And also Kevin Brady also revamped Mötley Crüe's logo to look a little bit more contemporary versus what they had before. So this is Kevin Brady, famous tattoo artist. You can check him out. He's on Instagram as well. So again, great record. It's on Elektra. 6 million copies. So you can't go wrong. I love that cover. I think it's a great cover. So last but not least, Motörhead's Bomber. Wow, what can you say about Bomber? Well, if you're a Motörhead fan, you know Bomber, because it's a great record. Bomber was the third studio record of Motörhead. It was released October the 12th, 1979 on Bronze Records. Right here, Bronze. Great label, very small label. Put out a lot of hard rock and stuff out of England during that time. It was recorded at Roundhouse Recording Studios in London. It was also mixed and recorded at Olympic Studios between the 7th of July and the 31st of August, 1979. This does feature the classic lineup of Lemmy, Fast Eddie Clarke, and Filthy the Phil Animal Taylor, also known as Filthy Animal Taylor. And this album was the first album to have a picture of the band on the cover. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. You probably should be able to look it up online. But all the members of the band are in an airplane here. And this is actually a take on a British novel that was written by Len Dighton called Bomber, right here. And Lemmy was a big fan of that book and incorporated that into this recording. It features all three members inside a plane, and it's a German World War II plane. And when Lemmy was asked about it, he said that he wanted to make sure it was German because the bad guys had all the best shit. So, with that being said, rest in peace, Lemmy. He was a military regalia collector, so he was big into collecting all the regalia from World War I and World War II. So there's always some sprinkle of that in the Motörhead artwork. And the artwork was designed by Adrian Chesterman, who worked with Lemmy on this. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the tracks on this, and I'll show you the cassette as well. Bronze was covered by Mercury in Canada. So you'll see it's got the Mercury logo there. And this was pressed and printed in Montreal at the cassette manufacturing facility in Montreal. Same one that Bonsai Records used as well. So if you want to know that. So there's that. And then let's take a look at the cover art here. A little bit deeper. It doesn't do it justice. You really should look up the cover art on the record itself. You can see the band members are a little bit more pronounced there on the cover. But some of the key tracks here: Dead Men Tell No Tales, Lawman, Sweet Revenge, Stone Dead Forever, All the Aces, and Bomber. Those are classics. Those are staples in the Motörhead live set for a long time when Lemmy was still around. And I've seen Motörhead 5 times, so I can attest to that. And once on the front row, right in front of Lemmy. Actually caught his pick. So there you go. So that's my 3 epic cassettes for the week. Bomber for Motörhead, Megadeth, Euthanasia, Mötley Crüe's Dr. Feelgood. So have a great week, everyone. Thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate everybody coming out on the live last night, hanging out with Aaron and Titus and Chance and Boggs and all the guys. We do it every Sunday night at 10:30, and we do this every Monday at 9. So with that said, thanks everyone. Have a great week. See you next week.